Hey everyone, greetings. Welcome to Schoolstone, your afternoon match for weekends. Today we have a very special Sunday match for you, and I am joined to choose this match with by JRJuggerlaw. JR, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am ready. I can't believe how long it's been since I've casted a match, but I'm excited to see how this unfolds.
I'm very happy to have you back. And joining us today, we have um, one of the first members of THL, Leumer himself. How are you doing, Leumer?
Hey, I am doing great today, ready to cast a fantastic match of Hearthstone.
Yeah, I think we have quite the match for everyone today. And we brought three veterans from THL who've been around for a pretty long time. I'm the youngest here, and it's been almost 3 years now to cast two newbies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yes, of course, we've got FBM2 playing on my team, Due Process, who just joined this season. He's a pretty well-known wild player from what I understand, but he's
Yep.
also very established in standard as well. And then, of course, we have Cool Kid from HypeHorizen, the team that I'm basically referring to right now as Liquid Ox and his team of insane friends, because this team is just arguably the most stacked team we've ever had in THL. Period. Like these are some very unfamiliar names to some, but I think a lot of people, myself included, have at least looked at the other four players on this team and gone, you know what? I think I've heard of that name. I think I recognize this player because
Yep.
they're all top ladder players. They're all like top 100. Like I know I'm seeing right now, Cool Kid himself is at like 163 right now on the legend ladder. Like,
Ox is at
these
90.
guys, right? These guys are nuts. Like, it's kind of insane to me that Ox was able to put this team together, but I'm excited that he's brought this this level of competition to pro in what was already a very stacked series to begin with.
No, I completely agree. I think that it's very, very impressive what Liquid Ox has been able to do over there. But that
Hmm.
is not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is this match that we're going to get
Yep.
into. So, can we take a look at the deck lists? Something
Yeah.
you're going to notice.
This is really interesting. You might have seen it with the classes, but if you look at the decks, they're basically the same.
Yeah,
This is as close as you will get to a THL Pro mirror match.
Yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous how similar these two decks are. JR and Lotus were digging through them to try to find just a couple of differences that exist. And what did you guys find?
I think it
Not
was about two or three cards, really.
Yeah, the rogues. One is playing Abyss, the other one's playing Vendetta. Um, that's basically it. There isn't that much difference from one to the other. There's a Chinvala instead of an AI, or not a Chinvala. Sorry, Firebrand instead of an AI
Okay.
in the mage,
Right.
and that's kind of it. Really, yeah, there's not that much. One card in the Demon Hunter as well, but those are really similar lineups.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
just the inclusion of the AI versus the 3 mana 3/4 is very, very interesting to me because it signals just in one card a little bit of a difference in priority for the players. AI
Yeah,
being the more resourced variant gameplay of okay, I'm gonna get resources to have my huge cyclone turns, whereas the 3/4 is like okay, I'm gonna win board, in which will then facilitate my getting resources to have my huge mana cyclone turns. So it's
right.
interesting to see the different approaches that each player, especially at the highest level, are taking um, to kind of facilitate the same goal through different means.
Yeah, I think AI
Yes.
is especially good in some of the particular matchups where you're facing control decks or just slower decks as a whole. We talked about this. I don't know if you two saw the article I published with the Fear We War Primes team. We had a
Yeah.
pretty cool Cyclone Mage article that I was very happy with, and we talked a lot about these kinds of cards. And Arcane Intellect is a really interesting choice if you're going to face Freestorm Warrior because you want to draw. You want to make sure you have cards in your hand and have the value to compete against these decks.
Of which we can see that both players are bringing that priest deck, so the AI could come in to get those extra resources in the priest matchup, and we might see it happen right before our eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've kind of noticed how, like, it's funny they both brought Rogue, Demon Hunter, and Mage, 3 classes that I would argue have been somewhat defined by tech choices. Because, like, there's definitely a lot of cards in each of these decks that are pretty staple, but I think it's very notable when you look at the cards that they chose, that one of them chose to bring and the other didn't. For example, Reggie brought, in his Demon Hunter build, 1 copy of Consume Magic, whereas Cool Kid did not bring any.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting, like that's a card that could end up making a huge difference in the matchup. Maybe not, but like those types of choices can be so impactful, surprisingly.
But then
Right.
again, we also have the Spectral Sight, which lends itself to the I want to get more card advantage in
Exactly.
this
Right.
lower matchup, maybe against that priest.
Yeah. We also know their bans.
Do they ban the same class is what I'm wondering.
They don't.
Oh,
Wow.
So
that's
they both
interesting.
have different views of what actually they don't want to face.
This
Cool
is
Kid
this is
had
gonna be
his
interesting.
Mage ban versus FBM2 having his Demon Hunter ban.
Wait,
That-
so they're Cool Kid banned Mage, or his
No, Cool Kid
his
banned
Mage was banned?
his Mage. Cool Kid's Mage was banned.
Okay, the way that was like described, I just wanted to be sure.
FBM2 cannot play his Demon Hunter.
So
Yeah.
both players will have Rogue and Priest, and then the third deck is going to be different for each.
Which
Yeah.
actually makes this series very interesting. To be honest, when I saw how similar the lineups were, I was expecting a dual ban.
Yes. I was
I-
expecting a dual Demon Hunter.
Is
ban
it
myself.
wrong that I'm kind of excited by the prospect of casting a Priest Mirror, despite how notably much those things can drag?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Actually,
Okay.
important to note that neither of these lists of priests are Galakrond. So we will
Correct.
not be sitting there for millions of years because they don't
No,
have
Yeah,
no.
we will.
generation
We will.
engine.
They
No,
still
no, we
generate a ton of cards.
It's gonna be just the Priest Mirrors in general tend to be very grindy, very back and forth.
Right.
But I will be honest, I myself have had the chance to test this new Dragon Control Priest, and I really like it actually. There is a part of me that wants to make room for Galakrond within it, but like even without it, the deck still does very well on its own. There's just a lot of resource generation, and being able to, of course, go Cabal Acolyte into Wave of Apathy is one of the dumbest plays I have seen.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoyed that Wave of Apathy is a card, to be honest.
Wave of Apathy is, to me, the problematic card in Priest right now, because that
Yeah.
card is way too good. The rest is fine. Cabal Acolyte as a 2/4 is okay. It's
Yeah.
just Wave of Apathy that breaks the whole kit.
It's a problematic card.
Especially it being a 1-mana card. I think that's
Yes.
the biggest problem. If it was any other variant of mana, then it couldn't be gotten off of
Right.
Maker or off of
Cobalt Spellkin, exactly.
which is when it becomes a problem. I think the 2 copies that are naturally in the deck are completely fine. It's the copies that you
Yes.
generate outside of the deck.
Yeah, it's kind of like a real easy to generate Frost Nova, which is not good. That should never exist.
No.
Freeze should
No.
not be easy to generate. It's one of the problems with Ray of Frost. It's just way too many cards can generate it.
Right,
looks
and
like
it ends
we
up
have
being so
options in the game.
impactful. I think the problem with freezing cards is the fact that people look at it as, oh, all you're doing is freezing a minion. You're not removing it, so it's clearly not that big of a deal. But we've seen how powerful freeze cards have been in metas, like since Hearthstone's been a thing. Like
Yeah.
Wave of
And-
Apathy is kind of in a similar boat. So I think if they just bumped it up to 2 mana, I think that would make a lot of difference, and it would still be a very powerful card that sees play.
Right. That being said, the match is starting, so let's see what we have here.
We've got FBM2 Reggie on his Rogue into Cool Kid's Demon Hunter. Oh, man. Speaking of that, Cool Kid has himself a handful of 4-mana cards to start the game off.
Yeah.
Which is extremely awkward.
If he had the coin, that would be a fantastic hand. Because you can go Marrow Slicer into Ward Villager, and that's just so much face damage. But not having the coin Plus, that Shotbot can make the difference. Shotbot on 2 is really strong against Demon.
Also important to note that that is a golden coin coming out of Reggie's hand, so has to be commended whenever you see it.
Yeah, yeah. Someone really likes Rogue.
I mean, I'm not surprised. This is, Rogue is Reggie's best class. It's his favorite class. I kind of expect him to lead off with it one way or another because I'm sure he's looking at it that if he plays correctly, he can win almost any matchup. Because Rogue, that's kind of the place Rogue is in right now.
Looks like we're going to go with the coin miscreant on turn 3, knowing that that Soul Shear came down on the Pharaoh Cat makes this play a lot more appetizing.
It becomes a really awkward play with that draw. The draw of the Warblades, want to play it, but at the same time, Marrow Slicer on 4 is so good.
I don't know that you can play the Warblades with this hand.
Yeah, I think the problem is with the Warblades, you really need to save that for a turn where it's
Right.
like you're looking to gain a lot of life. Here, it's like, what do you actually gain from playing it? Answer, not much.
Happy Hallow's End.
But the best part of this for Reggie is that he's going to be able to Shadow Step that Miscreant if he wants and just get more value off of it, which in this matchup can be huge if you can get like the Taunt Lackey or the Evolve Lackey, for instance.
He has a nuts amount of targets to Shadow Step in his hand with the Kobold Lackey and the Wand Thief as well as the Miscreant.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
these Shadow Steps are not going to be dead this game, that is for sure.
Not at all. But it looks like Cool Kid is going to play the Warblades and actually attack the Miscreant. Interesting choice.
Yeah, attacking the Miscreant kind of makes it a perfect Shadow Step target.
Yeah.
That's exactly when you want to defend your account.
Right.
Especially if we hit an Evolve Lackey off this draw.
Or a Taunt Lackey. I think both are very valuable here.
Yeah. Yeah. Can give it plus attack. Or just play the Shotbot. Good minion, very annoying for Demon Hunter to.
Very
His
much
hand
so.
is so big.
Yeah.
This is not something we're really used to seeing out of Demon Hunter, is to get this slow of a start. Especially into Rogue, that's just getting to generate all this value without pretty much any repercussions coming in way.
Right. The only thing that Reggie is really missing is he's looking to get like a Questing Adventurer or a Van Cleef play off.
He has an Edwin.
You know, just because then like that's really Demon Hunter's biggest problem. If they don't have something like a Silence for that, they're generally going to be in big trouble unless they have like a way to make a really big Blade Dance play, you know? So,
Yep.
and that's always very situational, unfortunately.
In this particular Demon Hunter match, we don't see a Blade Dance, so it looks like it's going to be a lot about Skull, but at the same time, Skull's not going to be active anytime soon.
No,
Nope.
he's going to have to draw his low end to activate that Skull, probably in turn 7 or 8.
Yeah.
This is arguably one of the most awkward Demon Hunter hands you could have, really. So,
Kobold Lackey getting a lot of value here.
very much so.
Yeah, not an
You're
Edwin turn. If he had Edwin, this would be a game-ending turn.
Could have been an Edwin turn, he just didn't believe enough.
Yeah.
You say that, but I don't know.
Still no Evolve Lackey. That's okay.
Which is no Evolve or Taunt Lackey out of this.
But we've
taking
got,
the right
we've got a
time.
lot of value with the Draconic Lackeys.
And
He's
that
got
is a taunt card.
Yes, yes, it is. He's got the Crimson Hothead, which, I mean, that's going to be a little awkward because he's not going to have a way to give it Taunt just yet. But I mean, it's also a card that you don't really need right now, given the state of the board. So,
Giving it taunt on turn 7 with the Ice Barrier is a pretty large defensive play that we might see.
oh, he's definitely setting himself up perfectly right now.
FVM2 says in his defense, for any mistakes, he went to bed 3 hours ago.
I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
Good stuff, Reggie.
Oh man. If he wins this match, though, let's just say I'm not going to care.
Gonna play the Hornpiller Drought to guarantee the Eldrachi Warblades. This is interesting to me with both Marrow Slicer in hand, just knowing that you're not really feeling pressure right now. He is kind of clearing up his hand for the Skull to get outcasted, but it's still so far away from that happening.
Yeah. I think this turn, yeah, just play the Hothead, play the Kobold Lackey, and just keep going face. I mean, at this point, he's not in a position where he's very threatened. Like, unfortunately, Cool Kid's hand is, again, arguably one of the most awkward hands you could have in this situation.
Lapidary
Yeah.
does give us an out to clear the Hothead if we'd like to take it.
Yeah. But even then, if you're Reggie, I think you're still going to be happy because you're still in a position where he's taking a lot of damage that could have gone face and putting it into a minion.
Mhm. That ice barrier as well. That's going to be a win.
It's going to be huge for sure.
Backstab here not bad with the current board state, especially sitting on 2 Goblin Lackeys.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to want to go for the Draconic Lackey first, though.
I
See
think
what
this
he
might
gets
be a
off of
secret
that.
passage turn.
That's actually not a bad point. But, like, do you maybe want to wait a little bit before you play the Secret Passage, knowing he's in no danger? Oh,
with
wow,
Mummy,
that's a good draw.
Yeah, with Mummy, there's no reason to secret passage. That's just nuts.
Nope.
Backstab it away, clear it with the first half of the Mummy.
Just
and continue to press
effortless. Just effortlessly get rid of it, and I think you just play the Draconic Lackey for good measure.
Yeah, Spellkin's really good. Even in the
Yeah.
1-mana spells aren't that important, but there's some good ones.
Value is going to be good, though. Value, it's
Yeah.
especially compared to the other choices he had. Because what, it was a Twilight Drake, and what was the other card?
Anixia.
Right. Well, now Cool Kid at least has the Consume Magic if he wants to stop any big questing or Van Cleef play. But it also seems like Reggie's not even going to need something like that to win this matchup at the rate this is going.
No. Double jump is actually pretty good here because it can give him an extra skull out of nowhere.
Right.
Especially because he did just draw that Consume Magic. Or rather, did Wandmaker generate? No, Wandmaker generated the double jump. So him drawing the Consume Magic means that the only outcast card left in his deck is the second skull.
Yeah.
Right, because it's Reggie's list actually that's playing the the Spectral Sight. So the only card left would be the skull here, which isn't bad, but it is a little awkward.
Questing Adventure here could be kind of nuts. You're loading your hand with a lot of cards to activate that questing.
I really like this play.
Ooh,
Play the
that's
Madness is
really
so
good. That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Gonna let him to continue to push a lot of damage face and be prepared for anything that might come down on the backswing from Cool Kid.
Right.
Drawing some fragments here.
Which could be a double-edged sword under the circumstances, so we'll see. But he does get another Lapidary.
Cool Kid has been dying to try to get the 3-mana 3/2 this game and just has not found it.
Yeah. Especially in the rogue matchup, it's especially valuable.
Might
get it
off
now out of skull.
He could. Especially with less shards left in the deck.
Misses. Does find
Ooh,
Blade
he
Dance.
does get the Blade Dance, though, but that's not necessarily going to be all that great here.
No.
Gonna power it up with the Chaos Strike just in case it ends up hitting the 2/4.
Ooh, and he gets a Pen Flinger for his troubles. I think, you probably want to Pen Flinger the Mummy, just to at least get that out of the way, knowing the Chaos Strike is free and will bounce it back to hand. Yeah, looks like that's what he's thinking. And now the question is, will he... All right, he does hit the 2/4, but he doesn't hit the Spellkin, which would have been nice, even if it wouldn't have cleared it.
He can still clear the Spellkin because of the poison.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's 3 face damage that I'm not sure he wants to take right now.
Especially
Double
not having
questing.
the second... Oh, dear God. Oh, he's doing it.
So this one gets Consumed Magic, and then the second one comes down pretty much just as big.
Right. I think at that point, the only answer he could have is playing the... If he has plays the second Wandmaker and gets another Consume Magic,
Oh,
but I think
God.
that's it. Oh, dear Lord.
we prepping the... Just,
You're prepping
yeah,
evocation.
No, I don't think you evocation because it stays in hand. I think you just prep to give the questing the extra +1/+1. And
That's
then you
fair,
hold the
yes.
evo for next turn, because you can make the second questing with evocation just nuts, huge.
That's right. Oh, and he's got the ice barrier. So along with the plagiarize to start going off with the Hanar.
Well, Hanar isn't going to survive. Turn.
Yeah,
Well,
it most
if
likely
he didn't
has
have
to
an
die
answer, is
here.
what I'm saying.
Fair.
But either way, yes, having the evocation for next turn or whenever he wants to use it is going to be pretty nuts. Personally, I think he should probably go questing into plagiarize and like maybe ice barrier, just you know, get some good things going.
We'll have to find out depending on what the draw is next turn, but coming from Cool Kid's side, we know that this questing is going to consume the magic every time.
Yes.
We know he's probably trying to kill the Hanar with the weapon every time, or he can swing Glavebound.
Thank you.
Basically.
Considering all of his options here. Decide to play the Marrow Slicer followed by the Glavebound. I like this. Develop the weapon, get the 2 soul fragments into deck for the Lapidary next turn.
I do like getting rid of the questing, even though he knows he doesn't have to worry about another Shadow Step since Reggie has played both of his already.
John is pretty huge here.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Also, he can give that. He can give it rush if he really wanted to. Okay, he's not going to do that.
Get to see the mana worms.
Yeah. The mana worms can scale up really, really large with the evocation that we see in the hand of Reggie.
And he still has the ice barrier to combo with the blackjack stunner if he so decides to use that.
Really time for Skull to get that 3 mana 3/2. Otherwise, it spells really big trouble.
But it's also going to be a little awkward because if he plays a lot of cards this turn, we know he's got plagiarize. So
He still has one roll. One roll possible to get it with Mana Feeder Pantara.
Yeah.
He'll have to hero power to try to draw it, though.
right.
Looks like that's the play.
And if he doesn't get it off here, even if he... Oh!
Yep.
That's... Oh, that's unfortunate.
And
Damn.
the Twilight Runner, the Destruct effect.
Oh, man. See, now this is why I was hoping you would give the 5/4 stealth rush. But I get he wanted to develop the mana worms.
This Plagiarize, though, will get us a Skull of Gul'dan.
Not that easy to play it, though.
No, not yet. It could become relevant at some point. Vendetta gives that questing an extra proc.
Yeah.
I think in either this turn or the next couple of turns, developing Ice Barrier is going to be very important.
I agree.
Just to
Yeah.
some kind of bursty counter lethal that could happen, but
I think when it comes to Ice Barrier in a situation like this, you can play it now, which he's going to do because he knows the Blackjack Stunner isn't necessarily going to get much value for him. But he also knows, like, from 21 health, he doesn't really have much to worry about.
you say that, but I saw Demon Hunter get to 24.
Yeah,
like
I've
2
seen
games
them
ago.
get really
I'm not
high.
saying they can't do it. I'm just saying you'd have to have some pretty ridiculous RNG and discounted cards in order to make something like that happen. I think the most I've done was like 18 or 20.
I've done 22, I think.
Yeah. My
This
opponent
deck is
got
stupid.
24 on me because they generated double Twin Slice.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Blade
You can
Dance is going to
deal-
be really good.
5 Twin Slices is just 20 damage. Double Pyroglass in a turn.
Such a beautiful shield.
And now Lapidary is going to come out, and that's going to force out the Ice Barrier.
Incredible.
Luckily, the Ice Barrier is going to suck up the majority of this damage.
Yeah. There's going to be some pen flinging starting soon. So, can FVM2 end this game before pen flings?
I think we've got to try to fish with Evocation, right?
Not
He's
necessarily.
gonna do the Lackey route.
Okay, that works out.
Second Goblin Lackey's pretty big.
Yep.
I actually like the potion here.
I think
Pretty
Potion's your best bet. He doesn't have a ton of cards left, so taking another Secret Passage, he might not even end up playing the one he has in hand, unfortunately, at the rate things are going.
And just getting more lackeys.
And he's going to play the Blackjack, obviously, to make room for
so
when he plays Evocation.
There's the militia.
Yep, it has 2 in it currently, so if he's playing Militia...
But he could give it more if he plays the Soul Shear and put it up to 4. The problem is if he plays the Spirit Jailer, the most he's still going to be able to get out is 4 because it takes up a space.
Yeah, and that means you don't heal. I think we're just going to see.
Agreed.
We also have a crazy anti-synergy in the hand of Reggie. If he casts the Evocation, the Skull Outcast doesn't matter. And he'll draw 2 instead of 3.
Well, for one
so
turn.
it matters. For one
Right.
turn, correct. But I think that's what he has left, right? Because he has to clear these 3/2s or he's just dead.
I mean, he's really just going to have to see what does he draw off of the Evocation.
It's a really good match so far.
Well played.
Because if he's
A
looking
lot
for
of
any
that
kind
can-
of answer, like a Flame Strike or something, then he's not even thinking, he's not going to think about playing the Skull this turn anyway.
Right. If we find a Flame Strike off of this, I don't think the Rogue can lose. And that's nuts. That's how good Evocation is.
Well, a Blizzard would
Vendetta's
also...
insane.
Oh, that is
Vendetta
really
lets
good.
him just get it out of his hand. Gives him an extra spot.
He just... Right, he just needs any kind of AoE right now, really.
That's a Blizzard.
That is a Blizzard.
Blizzard Ray of Frost. So
I kind of wanted to see Learn Draconic.
Yeah, I think he just kind of rushed that a little bit.
Is he just not going to play the Learn Draconic?
No, he definitely is.
He's hero powering instead. Yeah, he's
Hero-powering.
not playing it.
Oh,
I would have
interesting.
learned Draconic Blizzard because that's just you basically get that side quest done really fast.
Right.
Not finding a Twin Slice is pretty important.
Is this just going to be a big, like, pen flinger? We play the Twin Slice just to maximize
we have
damage
to
turn?
play everything here.
Yeah.
We just try to push as much as possible.
Which is relevant. I'm not sure offhand what's left in Reggie's deck, because he's going to play that Skull and hopefully hope for some good stuff. We know he still has Van Cleef in the deck, which
And
would be
it's off
huge.
the top. And
I had to
it's
say it.
off the top.
I had
Oh,
to say
boy.
it.
Yeah.
But to
Gonna
be
see
fair,
Van Cleef.
yeah, exactly. That's still pretty
Rattledore.
impactful. Ooh, that's good.
Neophyte not being as relevant in the current situation, but
I think Ace Hunter Crean was actually better there.
I don't entirely know. I think
hard to
Ace Hunter
say.
Crean, Ace Hunter Crean is really good. I didn't see the third option. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just saw the Rattle.
It was Valdez Fairbarge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's never the take.
No.
But here, if he took Crean, he'd pay the 3 mana, right? But I think Cool Kid has to trade anyway, since he had the Ray of Frost. So he has to trade into this Neophyte with the 2/2,
He does, yes.
knowing that he doesn't have them.
Well, he can double bench later.
He's just going to concede?
That takes damage away from face though, so it's like it's a toss-up coin, whereas Radagor coming down next turn probably just ends the game.
That evocation play was so huge, my god.
Yup. Evocation. I think Evocation deserves a nerf, but that might just be me. It's so strong. That card
It's a very powerful card, but it's hard to evaluate because, like, part of what I like about it is the fact that there's no guarantee you're going to be able to play a ton of stuff off of it because Mage has cheap cards and expensive cards in it.
Well,
Can I-
Mage
can I
has a
point
lot of cheap
something,
cards.
Yeah, a lot of cheap cards and access
It
to
does.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
But there's also a decent amount of expensive cards in there too.
Yeah, but a lot of times you're fine getting the expensive cards because they're removal. Like, basically, you either
True.
get your expensive removal or you get your cheap stuff that wins the game.
Yeah.
And
I think
both
the
work.
only
Right.
change that would help spells like that is just don't allow generation of legendary spells unless it's legendary minion. Same thing with
Ooh.
Soulmere. Like, you just say, I can't generate legendary spells. You have the 1 copy, so you have Evocation is fine if you can't have
Right.
6 Evocations in a game. that's when it becomes a problem.
Interesting thought process, because I get your point, because then having a spell like that, like being legendary, almost seems counterproductive if you can still play it a bunch of
So
times
many
with,
times in
you
a
know,
game, exactly.
that's fair. I mean, that's definitely a problem with Soul Mirror and Priest, so I think the argument for evocation is pretty valid as well. But we're moving on to game 2 now, and
Yep.
Cool Kid is going to stick to Demon Hunter, and now Reggie is moving on to his Priest, which I think is pretty favored here from what I can tell, even the Dragon Control version. But
I believe the Dragon Control version is fairly favored, especially if you run a lot of the heal cards. You do run 2 copies of Apotheosis. You run a few of the cards that just basically say heal.
right.
So, feels like a better matchup.
And you're not going to be Galacronding, so you're always going to have that heal in the back pocket if you really want it, you know?
Also important to note that this variant
And it's
of
also,
Priest
we also
has-
forgot to mention this before, but as of right now, the score between these two teams is 12-6. So even though HypeHorizen has won 3 matches, Due Process still actually has a chance to win if, depending on how these last 2 matches go, if Due Process manages
Sure.
to win both of them.
Yep.
I'm honestly kind of impressed with the fact that my team has managed to have all of their losses go to 5 games, given the caliber of these players.
Someone was saying something else.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Important to note that this variant of the Priest, a lot of the variants are running double Holy Smite. This variant is running 1 Holy Smite, 1 Shadow Word Death. So it actually, I think, probably has a arguably better Demon Hunter matchup. Having
so.
that death for the either the Soulcologist body that's left behind, or the Glavebound Adept, or the Lapidator.
Yeah. It's a good answer to a 5-5 or a 6.
Exactly. But I think it's also a card you don't need 2 copies of, based on how things tend to play out.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's ultimately a matter of preference.
Zethic Veilweaver coming into the hand of Reggie here. Considering playing it out, is going to do that along with the Renew.
Probably thinking, well, it's probably inconsequential knowing...
Power Word Shield's huge.
Oh,
that was
wow.
such a good card.
Yeah. We're going to have to see the Consume Magic here, most likely.
Thank you.
You can just
Not
chaos
necessarily.
it down, right?
Yeah. True. Consume Magic is good just because it gets the outcast off.
Yeah, it gets the draw off. But to be fair, it's always going to be outcasted this game because it's on the far left.
I grow
Yeah.
impatient.
So
You could
it's
also make
not,
the
not
argument...
really a matter of getting the outcast value. It looks like he might go both. He might hedge his bets and Chaos Strike it, and then... Nah, he'll just Hero Power, yeah. Do the full clear. Save the Consume Magic. I'm assuming for an Apotheosis.
Probably.
Brilliant.
I think we'll see. It's kind of hard to gauge in a way because, you know, in this matchup, it's hard. Like, there's not necessarily an obvious target for the Consume Magic compared to with Rogue when you know you want to use it on, say, a Van Cleef or a Questing Adventurer. And now he's going to play the Acolyte, which I'm a little surprised he decided to play that and just play the Raise Dead now, knowing he doesn't get a ton of value. But I guess he just figured, like, you know, let's make the most of it right now.
The value comes in from the fact that you know he's going into turn 4, so you know he's probably playing the Marrow Slicer.
True.
It sucks up the 4 damage, you get back your Sethic, and you have that 1-3 or 2-1 to be able to facilitate better trades and be on the board for Apotheosis.
Well, now to be fair, this is probably what you're going to want to Consume Magic.
Well, we know there's a Sethic coming next turn. That one's also going to be pretty annoying, but this is quite the easy removal.
Yeah, you just Consume Magic, Flinger, Twin Slice, I guess?
Yeah.
Probably, because this way, it's a little awkward having to use your Twin Slice here, but you also kind of know you need to put that Pen Flinger back in hand.
He might double Flinger. Yeah, he's gonna...
He's definitely double Flingering.
Yeah. Blade Dance pretty big.
He might actually triple Flinger now that I think about it.
You will regret.
I don't think he's going to play it again and not get it back to hand.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, no, he wouldn't have enough mana to replay it and then play the other Twin Slice. So no, he's definitely just going to do this. And this ends up working out for him because now he's bringing Reggie down to 15 health.
Well, we know Reggie's hand, so
We do.
wondering
know
whether
that
or
there-
not just to go with a slower play of one maker instead of the Sethic.
If he plays the Sethic, I think it's because he's playing Apotheosis this turn.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
He's going to raise dead.
He really wants this Twilight Drake to get Apotheosis.
I mean, now he
Yeah.
knows it's very likely to stick, so that does end up working out.
5, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 damage potential this turn, so not quite enough from the side of Cool Kid.
Right. And fortunately, that Twilight Drake is actually just out of range of a Blade Dance turn.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, the only... Cool Kid does not have a way to remove it. At least not this turn, so that's going to be pretty huge.
The healing you can get. 6 healing is a lot this matchup.
Demons?
Right, as well as being something that is going to be hard to remove one way or the other.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the Eldrazi. I like this. You have both copies in hand, not a real reason to hold the second copy. Just push as much damage as possible this turn and hedge your bets that he does not have the Apotheosis. Unfortunately, we know that he does.
2 copies of it, in fact.
You possess true power.
And a Radiance.
Oh,
off that
wow.
Yeah, you really want that.
That would be one of the better cards in the matchup to generate, that's for sure.
This is
Pretty
definitely
much.
going to be a Blade Dance turn, though.
You have to do it. Not much other option.
Nope. I think this is... I feel like you should probably play Ruin here. Twilight Drake into Shadow Word Ruin.
Yep.
Can you afford to? Is there a chance he deals 11?
We know that he has Second Slice in hand, and we know he has Penflinger.
Right.
on the side
I
of-
think he knows realistically he can't chance it.
Unless he had second Twin Slice, Chaos Strike into something else. He should be
Right.
alive.
Now, Cool Kid does have a way of removing this Twilight Drake, but it's a little awkward, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he has 2 ways of removing it, excuse me.
It's not too awkward to just Jailer Soulcologist, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because you're probably thinking, well, if he's got, like, Soul Mirror or something along those lines, these minions may not even survive, so probably just better to clear the Drake anyway.
Something that is important is that Reggie showed the Apotheosis that was generated, not the one in deck. I would have actually liked to see him play the one from the deck, because it makes a play like that a lot more dangerous, or a lot likely to happen, because you have to clear if you think he still has both Apotheoses in deck, which is what Cool Kid did. If he played the one from deck, he might not think he had the second one, so Cool Kid might not have made that play to clear the Twilight.
True. Now, right now, Cool Kid is just, at this point, trying to see how much damage he could generate. That's another Twin Slice. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that does look like so much facing.
Not quite 16, though.
No, but it's definitely going to be a big turn for him.
I don't think he pulls the trigger this turn. I think he might do 1. Not with the Penflinger. I think he's just going to Warblade's Hero Power.
I almost wished he had, like, he had been able to, like, Mind Vision next turn. Imagine if he Mind Visioned into the Warblades.
Your mind is not your own.
God, this third
And he gets a
potential
Twin Slice, and he does get the Wand Maker. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Assuming no Kane.
Well, Kane... No,
Would
you're
be
right.
lethal.
Kane would be enough. Kane would be lethal.
That might be Kane.
That could be Kane.
That is Skull, which could be into Kane. That is not what you want to see. There's a fragment, so
That's not good. Oh,
Twin Slice.
Warlock.
no Kane.
No
He
Kane.
still has lethal though.
No, he does have lethal. He's
No?
right.
Yep.
He's got Penflinger into the
Well, he
Soul
doesn't have
Shear.
enough mana.
Oh, you're right. I'm trying to do the
2, 4,
math.
6,
You're right.
8.
No, he's right. He doesn't have enough.
Yeah. We are
He can
off
get
by
close, but not quite there. But that's still a lot of damage either way. I'm not sure if there's anything that Reggie can do about this, unfortunately. Even with the apotheosis in hand,
2. Oh, he has
that's a
double.
lot.
He has double, so there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of healing.
There is almost no way I think that Cool Kid can actually end this game off the back of double apotheosis.
Well,
It's going to heal him 9, put him to 12. So 5, 7, 9,
at
10, 11. He
13.
still has lethal. He still has lethal.
No, he
Right?
does not. Nope, he does not.
5, 7, with Penflinger.
Wait,
no,
wait,
he has
hold
lethal.
on.
There's
No,
lethal.
he does have lethal. He has exact lethal. That's correct.
Penflinger here.
Penflinger gives him exact lethal and just enough because he only has
Oh,
to
he
play
doesn't
it
need
twice.
the fling. He doesn't need the fling.
He actually does.
No.
Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, I can't count, apparently.
He has lethal. What are you guys talking about?
No, I knew he had lethal. I thought he needed Penflinger for the lethal, but Lotus was right. He did not. That was rough. If he did not draw the second lapidary, that would have been a very different story, unfortunately.
However, that puts us at 1-1, correct?
Yep. Yep. At this point, Reggie is just trying to make sure that Cool Kid does not get more than one game win because he needs to win at least 3-1 in order for Due Process to have any chance to take the series. If he wins by 3-2, then only a sweep from Mr.
Would tie,
Python
correct?
would actually tie. So we'll have to see. But right now it's going to be now Mage against Rogue. So Reggie is looking to switch it up from the Priest and save that for last, it looks like.
Thank you.
Finding the Prime off the Primordial Studies.
Seems good. But this kind of highlights my main issue with Cyclone Mage as a deck right now. It has like a lot of insane combo potential, but it really also depends on you drawing certain cards to get that generation going. It's part of the reason why I think you need to run at least one Arcane Intellect, because you can often have turns like this where you don't really have much to work with. You know, he has the Prime to play it for board, but it's like that Apprentice and Cyclone aren't going to get much value right now, and you're still waiting for a good spell to really make the Firebrand work.
Honestly, I think the answer is
Thank
just
you.
putting Vectis in every mage deck.
Thank you.
That's fair.
That's not the worst idea. I'll be honest.
At Bach
Like
for
that.
life.
I mean, it's becoming a genuine discussion topic right now, and I think it should be. Because that card is basically, on its own, it does a lot for Mage. Like, as far as value generation and as far as just being a good standalone card on its own.
Play the Firebrand out here. I like
Basically,
it. Push for
yeah.
board.
I mean, he doesn't have, I don't think he has an answer to it. Not an immediate answer, at least.
Lotus, what do you think the line is here?
Don't have a great answer for the Firebrand, so probably going with just something like Secret Passage and hope you get an Edwin or a Blake could be funny.
Yeah.
Not sure I would go for it myself.
I personally wouldn't, just because even with 3 mana, I don't think there's, especially with 3 mana, I don't think there's a ton you could do. I mean, it works out for him because he does get the prep, but like if that prep had been something else, this would have been extremely
And
awkward.
the Plagiarize. the rogue might have a cycle.
Right.
Attack.
Yeah, this is a bit awkward because he's playing 2 secrets, so now Reggie's definitely thinking, all right, I got to play around the plagiarize.
Which he does.
Interesting. Well, no, because he doesn't play anything to trigger it. He's really just looking for a situation where he just plays 1 card.
Right, but the 1 card to play, you can't sacrifice the magic trick out of this hand with double Cyclone in it. So
No, absolutely
he's
not.
waiting on a card to be able to proc the plagiarize.
Correct, but this is where things get extremely awkward. Because he can now Questing Adventurer, Blackjack Stunner the Firebrand,
Don't let the door
and now, if he wants to deal with that questing properly, he's not really going to have an easy way of doing that without also triggering the plagiarize. So, it's definitely a bit messy right now. He could just play the Firebrand into the magic trick and hope, like, I think it's like, what, a 75% chance that the questing dies? Something like that? It's a high chance, but it's not guaranteed.
It's low. It's below 50% for sure.
Oh, it is. Okay. So, yeah, it's very awkward.
Finding the primordial studies here.
He's probably going to hope this is ambush, and when he realizes it's not, he's going to be like, oh, okay.
I think he just has to play it out.
Right, that's the problem that the situation creates. You know, he knows, like, the best thing he can do is...
He will overdraw him, though.
Oh, he got the answer, though. Well, yeah, he does overdraw, and at least he removed the questing, and there's the ambush.
He also did not give him a mana cyclone, importantly.
That is very important, yes, because he's got all these low-cost spells, plus the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I'd like to think Reggie just did the math on that and saw, like, okay, I could keep track of all the cards he would get, and now I see, like, all right, at least he's not getting the Cyclone. And now next turn, he's also got the Arcane Intellect to just give him some more draw power. This is pretty solid.
My eyes are staring at this Winged Guardian in the hand of Cool Kid,
Oh,
and just
jeez.
wondering how Mage removes it without throwing a giant into it.
Right? Winged Guardian is like one of the most ridiculous things because Rogue ends up playing it, and it's just pretty
Rogue
nuts.
ends up playing it way more than Druid does.
quickly.
Devolving Missiles. Oh, but the Ancient Mysteries is very strong. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out. Be mana efficient, draw probably the last secret? Second to last secret? Because he burned the ambush off the top. We can find out, actually. Let's see here.
I will crush your delusions of grandeur.
Procking the Plagiarize, giving him his own prime, so this is going to be already a fiesta.
Very much so.
Looking from the side of Cool Kid here, he has quite a wealth of options available to him at 6 mana, as well as hopefully being ahead on board at the end of this turn. He may be considering going for the Jandis route.
I think Jandis is probably the best route because he can play that.
Oh, that's nuts.
Oh, wow.
That's absolutely nuts. You trade in all these token little guys, for
Yep.
sure.
Right. Like, on a board situation like this, Jandis works great because even if he can ping stuff, like, you know, to remove it, he's, you know, Reggie doesn't have an easy way of dealing with the minions summoned off of Jandis, so that's a big thing.
Also,
pretty big deal.
He did make the Wormweaver the illusion, or not the illusion, so the Void Drinker is our illusion.
Right.
You don't pick the ones.
Let's see if we can guess correctly. There's the
Oh
generated
my goodness.
evocation. Gonna probably allow us to play a mana giant this turn.
What's he gonna do? All right, he's got a Ray of Frost.
Pretty strong.
Another Ray of
Play a mana
Frost.
giant, but is that enough to question what is on the other side?
Currently, no. I think that's what the
Right.
second evocation is hopefully for.
He's like hoping maybe I'll get a Conjurer's Calling. Maybe I'll get proper removal. Like at this point, I think he's doing everything he can to maximize the likelihood that this giant is going to be the answer.
Yeah, but there's also like you can trade with a 1/1
I
Conical.
wonder.
That giant is in trouble.
Yeah. And he'll probably trade stuff in just to make sure that he gets the mana worms too with that spell burst.
Assuming he's playing a spell this turn, I would agree. And it looks like it's probably going to be the Cone of Cold, along
Yep.
with Solarian Prime spell damage.
Yep, because then he can also clear the giant
Quickly,
entirely,
I will crush your delusions of grandeur.
which is extremely worthwhile.
It's feeding time.
We're going to need... Ooh, Sork Apprentice is a pretty big draw.
It's a pretty big draw. He's going to play the Chinvala too, so he only has 3 mana to work with, but at least now he has the discount.
He also did hit the illusion target.
Which is pretty big. So that does mean he has less stuff he has to worry about. Now he's
Oh,
got to hope
man.
the evocation generates some good stuff.
It definitely does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow, he's actually going to Conjurers instead of playing the Intellect for more draw. Which I guess is probably the right play, but oh my god. Is this just a drop the Wing Guardian and hope for the best?
I think it might have to be. You can Secret Passage, yeah.
He is
That's
going to
the
Secret
other option.
Passage. Yeah. He is going to hope that he draws something good off of this.
Hanar Secret.
That is pretty good. With the Van Cleave, I don't think he's going to play because, I mean, realistically, you could just do Dirty Tricks Neophyte into Van Cleave, and that's pretty hard. But he also knows he's got the Conjurer, so maybe he doesn't want, maybe he doesn't want to do that.
It looks like he probably will.
Yeah,
Trying to develop threat on his side of the board.
right. Hanar going back into the deck is fine. I think he still has at least one more secret left.
Quickly.
I don't think he does. If there's another secret, it's 1 copy of Dirty Tricks.
No,
But
that
he
was the second one he played, so we'd have to generate one, it
so-
looks like.
That was the last secret in the deck because he burned the copy of Ambush.
Oh boy, this is actually pretty good.
These Ray of Frost have been absolutely clutch from Reggie this series.
They are certainly keeping him alive.
Yeah. JR said he just wanted a relaxing series to come back for Schoolstone.
Don't know if this is quite relaxing.
Did I say relaxing? Because that was definitely not the right one.
Ooh, wow, finding some pretty
Oh,
hits
this
also
is-
with the Cyclone
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. What's especially important, though, is that now Reggie is mounting a lot of pressure to where even if he plays the Wing Guardian for that big taunt, it's something that's kind of inconvenient, but not terribly so.
Now he can get through the Wing Guardian and the Lethal.
Exactly. It's like that card, Wing Guardian can be pretty insane, but in this situation, not so much.
I think he can. But I'm reading this one. Yeah.
It would definitely be close. I mean, either way, Cool Kid is definitely seeing this board and going, well, I mean, how much does Wingardium actually do for me right now? And he knows that now Reggie has 3 spells plus a Firebrand. The Neophyte's going to obviously be helpful for making that at least those spells a little less useful. But yeah.
This rolling fireball does so much.
Yes, it does. Oh my
It'd be enough to
god.
close it. Just
Hello,
rolling fireball.
Solarian Prime.
Rolling fireball just closes
Rolling
right
fireball.
No, yeah,
trade.
Rolling Fireball's just it, because he can trade the Shinvala into it, and then he's got over 20 damage on board.
Yeah.
That's the
And this
situation where, you know, it's good that Reggie, you could tell Reggie was almost going to play the Solarian, and then he saw the lethal.
I mean, that's how Mage works. You just win.
You just win.
I was so ready to go on a to watch Reggie lose this game and be like, and this is the thing about Mage, it can have some huge games where it's just all value, all like crazy shenanigans, and then games like this where like you're kind of put into a tough spot. And look at how much he was able to do despite being put in a tough spot with those Neophyte plays and such.
Yeah, now Mage is fine, Sorceress is fine, Invocation is fine. I don't think
Totally fine.
No, nothing broken there.
But now Reggie only has the Dragon Priest left. And
Yeah.
Cool Kid is going to stick to the Rogue and hope he can pull something out.
We do.
And if he
see-
does win this, it is going to be a Priest Mirror. So
yeah.
that'll be an
Well-
interesting game 5 if we get to that.
Already in the hand of Reggie is that Acolyte Wave of Apathy. But one thing about Rogue that they tend to do is fill the board with tokens. So it is not as impactful in this matchup as I think it is in a lot of other matchups. Unless you obviously can high roll the Edwin or something.
On wings of destruction, they
We'll
come.
talk about a nice way to start off the draw.
Yeah.
He goes for the Soul Mirror. Interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't think I would have gone that way.
Yeah, I thought he would have gone for the Renew just for that extra
Yeah.
generation.
The Renew against Rogue is an option.
Finding another Winged Guardian. We'll see if this one gets played.
So we could see an Edwin.
Yes. It
Being
would
on
be-
coin.
It would be a 6/6 Edwin, but yes.
It would be more than a 6/6, right?
Nope.
Make
It
it
would,
an 8/8 if you backstab.
Yeah,
them.
you backstab.
oh,
your
if you
favorite
backstab
cat.
your own guy, yes. But at that point, I feel like, you know, what's the difference between making it a 6/6 versus an 8/8?
Muzzle their magic.
You know, against Priest at least. And he's not even going to kill it because he wants to save it as a backstab target.
Not sure I love this play. I kind of wanted to go in on the Edwin.
Job done.
Hmm.
Well, he definitely still can do it this turn, and being on coin, he
Yeah.
knows that Reggie can't Acolyte coin.
Yep.
You
Right.
will
I think at the
Watching-
very least his thought was, I'm going to make sure I play this Van Cleef before turn 5.
Yeah.
incur my wrath. You incur
The
my
absolute
wrath.
spam of emotes.
So, question: who here thinks? Is there anybody here who thinks Van Cleef shouldn't be Hall of Famed?
No.
Just a question.
They're taking their time to do it.
I don't know. It's just situations like this. I hate how much that card can define a game.
You shouldn't have a card that just decides the result of the game.
No.
Plagiarized Grandmommy is decent.
Would
Yeah.
agree. It really puts your opponent in a spot where they kind of have to play around the plagiarize, so even Acolyte Wave of Apathy feels really bad from the side of the priest.
Yeah, but it's also kind of one of those situations where he knows he has to play it just for, just to at least put up a minion,
Oh,
knowing
you
he's
you
already
have
getting
to try to roll to
yeah.
win.
Yeah.
And is this a high roll?
I mean, I don't know. I hope it is.
It's a high roll kind of game.
What?
Craziest part is it doesn't really matter
Happy,
because
He
he's
can
going to
do
get it back.
right back.
Oh right. I take back my what?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Also,
Oh.
he doesn't even have to wave of apathy if he doesn't want to, right? Or he does because he has to backstab.
He does. Yeah, that's
No,
the
no, no.
He can
problem.
Great.
backstab the
No.
Edmund.
You Grand Mummy
Right.
trade in, give it to a Pharaoh Cat, double trade, and then you backstab the Edwin to proc it.
Mummy needs 5 more minutes.
And that way you save the wave of apathy just in case the priests can mount any kind of counter offensive.
Yeah.
Your mind is not your own.
There are no 0 mana mages, but it's a good play anyway.
Quickly.
Power of Creation. Giving him the 7-8 curve of Winged Guardian into Power of Creation.
Yeah, it's a very common curve. We've all played it many times.
Yep. It's also worth noting the other reason not to play the Wave of Apathy here, the fact that now if he had played the Wave of Apathy, next turn on his turn it still would have been a 1/6.
It is still a 1/6. What do you mean?
Well played.
Well, poor timing on my part. Thank you, Leumer. Thank you for that.
Finding the second wave of apathy just in time to prevent a lot of damage coming his way.
And possible lethal at that.
You ever get back your 1 thief, so you can generate more stuff.
I was actually thinking this is a questing turn. I think I like quest. Maybe
That's
not
the-
going into turn 7. It's very, very close. Because if you expect him to have the soul mirror, you don't want to do the questing turn here. If you don't expect him to have the soul mirror, you want to probably questing into the
Right.
wand thief shenanigans.
Yep.
But it looks like he's just
Your
going to be
mind
content
is
taking
not
this
your
Cobalt Spellkin.
Makes a lot
Yes.
of sense. It also sets up really well for next turn. He expects a soul mirror. That's a really strong setup. It's a minion that survives and will deal some face damage.
And I think he does.
Right.
I think this is strictly a play around Soul Mirror, and it is going to pay off as we see it in Reggie Sanders.
Yeah.
It's going to pay. It's going to pay off. Right. It's going to pay off, but the Soul Mirror is still going to get some good value at least, so that's a plus for
Oh, yeah.
Reggie.
The soul mirror is still broken. Yes.
Right. Well, I think let's be honest. Cool Kid was probably paying close enough attention that he saw the Cleric of Scales before, and
That's
figured like based off of that and the renew, there was a good chance he had a Soul Mirror in hand.
Yeah, this is just game though. With the Eviscerate.
Yep.
Thing and Abyss.
Just enough. That top deck Eviscerate is going to bring this into Game 5 and a Priest
And
Mirror.
that is the card that is not played by Reggie as well. So the
Correct.
1 card difference coming into play.
Yeah.
Oh, the irony.
And we go to game 5.
Exciting,
Priest Mirror
exciting.
to end this series.
Which means all 4 of the series from this, all 4 of the matches from the series so far are going to Game 5. My God.
Oh god.
Well, I'm glad my
I'm
team is
ready.
pushing HypeHorizen to its limits.
I'm prepared. It looks like our players are taking a moment to collect themselves beforehand.
Now with the Priest list, did we see any notable differences between the two? I'm trying to recall.
Let me look at them real quick. Double Raise, Double Cleric, Double Draconic.
I feel confident saying I think they're this. No, wait, there is one difference. Wait
What's
a
the
second.
difference?
Nope, they are the exact same list. Never mind. They are playing the one
Yep, this
Holy
is a
Smite and one
full mirror.
Shadow Word Death. Yep, and they are both playing one copy of the Cabal Shadow Priest, which some players have opted to play 2 of. But yeah, this is literally card for card. I feel like we're watching a GM match right now at this point. Like, given the insanity of those Priest mirrors.
Oh, I'm super excited for this priest mirror. Our players are still trying to queue up.
Yeah.
Taranda versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory.
Illume give me strength. On wings of destruction they
Both
come.
players starting off with similar hands of sorts. They both have the Cleric of Scales along with Draconic Studies. And they both have, of course, a dragon to
On
make them
wings of
worthwhile.
destruction they come.
This is a tough call. Yeah, I think you take the Draconic Studies there. I think at this point, this match is going to be somewhat determined by value generation. And placing like a decent amount of like strong minions on board is going to be very helpful. Cool Kid also playing his own Draconic Studies, and he's debating on taking, I assume, either the Hothead or the Feywing. Both are pretty valuable here for different reasons, so I guess it's a matter of which do you think is more likely to stick. He's going to go with the Hothead. Okay. We shall see. Trades in the Clerics, so. I think you just play both Draconic Studies here, the way I see it.
Don't love the Sith.
No. I'm wondering what's the point of playing it, especially if you don't even have a Raised Dead to revive it later.
Well, assuming you'll get one.
Sure. But it's just when you have both of those Draconic Studies right there, I really have to wonder.
Yeah. I agree. Holy Smite can be fine. Get another Holy Smite.
Shadowward Ruin could be pretty huge later.
I think
Oh,
Mirazon
wow.
is actually very important.
Murazon in this matchup is kind of absurd. Because you start to get to the point where you're like, okay, I have to be careful of all the plays I make, because do I want to create a situation where they can Murazon me?
Yep.
Now the thing is, on one hand, you could be a little bit nervous about a Cabal Wave of Apathy play, but I feel like this might be a really good time to just go point Skeletal Dragon. Just plop that thing on the board. Gets you value generation. I mean, the Twilight Drake is also a solid play, given how many cards you have in hand, but I don't know. You're not really going to do much else besides that, so I'm kind of left wondering, is it worth it? There's the second Cleric.
On wings of destruction they come.
Takes the renew.
Need to go with the generate some good stuff. Extra Wave of Apathy is never awful. Neither is Plague of Death.
Yeah, I think both of those have their merits. Circle of Healing not going to be helpful, though, unfortunately.
No, Circle of Healing is still crying the death of Cleric.
Yep. I'm sure Reggie had his reasons, but I gotta be honest, I just don't really agree with either of those last turns of play. Like, regardless of what you might have been afraid of from your opponent, I feel like he just had better ways of utilizing the Sethic. And now Cool Kid is just really starting to develop a good board here.
could see a pyro in Favor's Apathy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Doing it. It's not a bad play.
No.
He's still holding on to the coin. He still has a second Pyromancer. This could work out pretty nicely. And the Twilight Drake is definitely something that, you know, Cool Kid is not going to easily be able to answer with his current hand. Soul Mirror doesn't outright remove it, so nor does Shadow or Death.
No. 9 cards in hand. You could go for a play like Holy Smite, Cobalt
You
Strike.
will regret. You will regret this.
Yeah, that's true.
Should do.
But not a bad play. He's just going to give the 1/4 Spellkin Reborn.
You will
So.
regret this.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like he's going to Pyro. He's going to play the second Raise Dead.
Winds of destruction they come.
He's going to... Oh, yep. That's pretty good. Renew into another... Oh, wow. So now he's got a Soul Mirror in hand, and he's got another one still in his deck. And now Cool Kid has to figure out how is he going to deal with this this situation.
Right.
You've got me fired up.
Holy Smite on the Drake seems good.
Cooking.
Could have put Theos clear this, but I think Skeleton better.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
And a little bit of BM because they haven't had enough this time.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about. These players are the most respectful I've ever seen.
No, Leumer, you're the most respectful player I've ever seen. That's you're like they are not you though.
Thank you so much, JR. I appreciate it.
I'm not biased at all.
So how does he deal with the Skeletal Drake? What's the plan?
Well, he's got a couple. He's got a couple like thought processes he could do. He could just decide to play the Spellkin and kind of see what he gets, and just decide like, oh, I'm going to Wave of Apathy and attack into it and just hope I clear it next turn. Or a bit of a more crazy play would be Apotheosis and Shadow or Death it, but I don't think you want to do that. No, he's going to go for the Wave of Apathy Soul Mirror play, which, as people know, has become like kind of a crazy play of sorts, because by the time your opponent will have a minion with 1 attack, but when your turn comes back, then the minion will have its attack reset. So it's pretty nuts. But now this is also a perfect Murazon turn.
Yeah, lets him get the second Skeletal Drake to really start the value generation.
Also, Circle of Healing, pretty big.
Yep. Because it heals up his guys, but the healing to the opposing minions isn't particularly relevant because Wave of Apathy is still in effect.
Throwing the coin as to not overdraw there.
Yep. And it's also worth mentioning now, Reggie has the Cabal Acolyte with Wave of Apathy combo if he does need to take control of something pretty impactful.
Yeah. I don't get why people say priest matches have a lot of RNG and card generation. No cards were generated in this match.
This Zaraku is 100% a priest-only card.
Yeah,
Doesn't come
really.
from anywhere else.
Lotus, I didn't think you were capable of trolling like this.
Cool Kid's hand is quite radiant. It has a lot of kind of useless healing right now.
Yeah. It's like if he can draw, if it gives him, it might give him some time to draw some answers, but whether or not that's actually going to be particularly impactful, that's a separate issue. Rottenness Drake could be pretty helpful, though.
Cabal is nuts here.
That is nuts, though.
Yeah, you could just take a third Skeletal Dragon if you didn't have enough cards in.
Oh my god. And he's gonna, the only thing is if he does take control of the third Skeletal, he's gonna need to play the Acolyte, I mean the Pyromancer.
Pyromancer actually has dual purpose here though, because it lets him trade into the...
Oh, that's right, because of, that's true, I didn't even think about that.
So he can trade into both of these off the back of Pyromancer and generate 3 dragons. Putting his card... He will overdraw, but I don't think it matters.
I don't think you, I don't think you complain. And we also know that Cool Kid used the Soul Mirror from his deck, so he has to basically hope he generates another one, and even then, that's not necessarily helpful. Like, his only main answer here is a Plague of Death, and that's going to be hard to generate, especially with what he has right now.
Right.
Hey Lotus, I'm just double checking. Did you swap screens?
I think I did. I hope I did. No, I'll do it now. Happens so many times. So
Oh no! I'm so sorry, chat. They started talking about it, so I was like, I hope they,
It's so hard to make sure everything is ready.
That is okay. We got it now.
Also,
just
it's a
in time
priest
for you to
mirror.
see.
No one wants to watch this.
No one wants to watch a priest mirror.
Can you imagine if one of the GM casters said that?
Oh. Haven't
I
they?
would laugh
I feel
so
like
hard.
they have said that on stream, actually.
Well, not so bluntly, I feel like. Wow. He is actually going to clear off a good chunk of this board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not like it matters that much, but yes.
No, it does not.
We're just going to see more stuff flop down on the board.
Yep. That's the thing. Because of all the dragon generation, Reggie just has this huge hand filled with helpful minions.
Going for stickiness over the Waxadread here.
Yep. I think the only thing, I mean, Nethrandomus is not particularly useful. His best bet is going for the Spellkin, seeing if he gets anything worthwhile.
Incredibly useful, actually. He's
That
a
is
dragon
very
for
useful.
Rottenness Drake.
Right. He can Draconic Studies and then Rottenness Drake. Or he can just play the Rottenness now. It's fine. Oh, and that's pretty ideal.
Oh. I'm gonna be honest, I do not see a world that Reggie could ever lose this game with the amount of, like, beefy
Agreed.
good dragons he has in hand.
Agreed.
You think this is your time?
Right now, it looks like he's just going to try to make a big board, knowing these minions are pretty impactful, and then next turn go for the Alexstrasza play for lethal. But he's still going to attack face with the Skeletal Dragon, not to, you know, so it's not really telegraphed in any way.
Yeah, the best we can do is try to Radiance and Pray. Got
Neither
Cobalt
of those
Spellkin.
cards do it.
Cobalt Spellkin could get him Wave of
A
Apathy.
simple spell.
That's true. That's the only thing. No.
Renew could get him Wave of Apathy.
But now he can't combo with the Cabal is the problem.
I think we're just in survival mode.
Yeah. No Wave of
Doesn't really
Apathy.
Find anything impactful.
He could
think
Forbidden Words if he wants to just, like, remove more stuff from the board, but that's about
I think
it.
It's just the game, though.
It is, unfortunately, because no matter how much he heals up, that Alexstrasza is going to create problems.
And that problem is going to be immediate. We are going to see Reggie take the series over Cool Kid 3-2. Meaning
Which
that there
means-
is still a route to a tie.
Yep. But either way, we at least got one win against the legendary HypeHorizen team, so that's pretty awesome. What a series, my god.
Yeah, that was a very, very good series. I'm glad
Priest
we could
mirrors
spare
can
our
be.
viewers from the first section of that.
I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't seen a priest mirror that developed quite like this one.
No. This was quite the priest mirror.
Are we gonna bring Reggie on?
Let's bring Reggie. Still undefeated pro player.
He's now the only. He still remains the only undefeated pro player who has played a minimum of, I want to say, like 3-4 matches.
And has passed by HypeHorizen now.
Yep. Six and 0.
Kind of nuts when you're considering pro.
Yes. I knew this. I knew Reggie was going to be a good addition to the team. I did not expect him to go undefeated for this long.
Do you have him as friends, JR? Can you add him?
I
here?
do. Yeah, let me add him. Wait. Oh no, I don't think I have him as friends. Let me message him.
So yeah, that was a really impactful series, especially
Yeah.
opening up HypeHorizen to people to not win the week if Due Process can pull off a sweep in the final series.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't expect to happen. I'm kind of
Hey,
expecting.
You gotta be confident in your team.
No. I mean, I think I think at this point, when it comes to like our team, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the win. But judging by how every single match has gone to 5 games, I wouldn't be surprised if that winds up being the case here too.
Yeah, that's fair. Ties are a huge rarity in THL, and they're always a treat when they come around.
Yep. And it could be the case this
All
time.
right, Reggie is joining us in a moment.
Yo, what's up?
Hello,
Reggie.
hello.
Yo, sorry about that stream thing. I don't know why.
Oh, no
He was
worries.
logged in
I
there.
mean,
Yeah.
this was a great match, though. We had such an insane series.
I mean, dude, I'm fucking terrible at that pre-stack. Tempo septic on 2, yeah, that's a negative
I
IQ player
wanted
right
to
there.
call. I kind of called you out on that, but I was like, I wanted to
just
believe there was
fucked
a
up
reason.
majorly. Nah, there was no reason. I'm just an idiot. I suck at that pre-stack. Like, my rank reflects that. I was 83 with Miracle Rogue and Tempo Mage, and I was playing some Control Warrior as well, so I was top 100. And then I played Priest, and let me check my record exactly. It is 16 and 23 with one variant, and 5 and 13 with another. So yeah, I'm really fucking good at that deck. Yeah, but even with Cool Kid stream sniping, he still managed to lose the game. I'm kidding. Okay.
Stream
Damn.
sniping on a 10-minute delay, Jesus.
He told me.
Damn.
He messaged me on Discord. You better BM me in the interview. Call me a cheater or something.
What?
There you go.
Yeah. So
Oh wow.
yeah. I mean, no, it was definitely like one of the best series I've ever played. Shoutouts to Cool Kid. That
It was a
Demon
crazy
Hunter
series.
game was terrible.
There was
I
so much BM, I couldn't tell what was going on, man.
Clear out skill on the pre-smear definitely did not fuck up every turn.
I mean, I think the most impactful turns were the ones you played properly, and you also just definitely had some good fortune in that he didn't have like the main answers he would have needed for your
Yeah, I
board.
mean,
You know, like
that first Demon Hunter game, when Cool Kid had a hand full of 4-mana cards, like the
Yeah.
entirety of his starting hand was 4-mana cards, I was like, oh boy,
correct.
this is gonna be a series.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. It was extremely close at points, but you definitely that Van Cleef though. Sometimes Van Cleef it just does it all for you.
The pre-smear is an interesting one. Usually it ends in fatigue, but I got hell lucky and got like 3 skeletals, and he had to waste 2 apotheosis on his pyromancer. That was like really rough. But yeah,
Right,
it was a clear out. Yeah, but it was a clear out skill. I drew even worse than him, and I still beat him. Kappa. Yeah, I drew like way better than him. He drew like kind of. I mean, he didn't draw horribly, but I drew double
No.
Murzond, Solmir. Yeah, it was rough for him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and it
But,
didn't hurt. It didn't hurt that he soul mirrored early on, and by the time he like
Right.
a soul mirror
I
would have
don't-
been really good for him.
Yeah,
Right.
Didn't
he
quite
just
work out.
definitely didn't have a choice when he ripped that first soul mirror. I could tell his hand was super awkward. He was holding like 3 cards in hand the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it was
And you
definitely a
punished him
great
with the
series.
Murazond, which also didn't
Yeah.
help him.
Yeah, it did not help him. I had 2 of them too. So
Right?
yeah, one
It
played
was
soul
pretty
mirror,
nuts.
one played 2 5-drop dragons. There's a pretty fucking balanced card right there.
Murazond in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't win shit with that priest deck. Holy hell, that was rough. I was gonna think I was gonna get 0-3 with priest. I'm so
But-
bad at that deck.
Hey, you're
Right, it
6-0
pulled through.
now,
It pulled through,
undefeated.
Pulled through.
You continue to be the only undefeated player left who's played like a minimum of like 3 or 4 matches.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
So- And you got to win against the top
Right.
team right now of HypeHorizen. So
I mean, let's be honest, it was pretty much a pilot difference when it boils down to it, right? Because the mirror, like, there's a mirror lineup, so there's really no excuse for a cool kid to mess it up. He just keeps keeps telling me to BM him, so I'm trying my best to make it funny, but I'm probably not doing a great job of that.
I mean, it was such an insane match. Both players
Yeah.
played fairly well. Some lines that each of us would have played differently, but honestly, I think you both were amazing. And
Yeah, it was a great series. I'm glad that I was able to play on stream. I figured that if you were wanting a match for Schoolstone, I was hearing it on I think it was
oh yeah,
what's your guys' Heart Center. So I'm like, I mean, it's a pretty high match. It's the top seeds
Yeah,
and it's
no.
HypeHorizen, so yeah.
I
Yep.
was
It's fun.
very happy to have this match. And
That was
I
great.
mean-
I really enjoyed it.
thanks for giving our team a win against these
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Mage is a stupid class. I should not have won that game. It should have been a 2-3 him because
that
or a
evocation.
3-1, like
that
evocation.
evocation, dude.
that evocation
That was not. I mean, like, yeah, just the Ray of Frost by itself is enough. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You got like, evocation. The crazy part is evocation was insane for you both in the mage matchup, but also the rogue match.
yeah. I really liked my evocation play with the rogue match. The only problem I had was okay. So I knew I should have played Lord Draconic, but like after I
Yep.
committed the Blizzard, I figured out. No, actually. So basically, my thought process there was like I need to get the damage in because I have no reach, right? So every damage matters, and he already expended both Warblades. So I figured I get the dagger in, but then I realized I could have made a 6/6 that turn, and then I
Yeah.
realized I was an idiot.
And that
So,
6
yeah.
does a little bit more than the
Yeah,
The 2
yeah.
damage,
But
yeah.
no, yeah. But I top decked Edwin, and I had a skull, so like it's all good.
yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, at that point, we were just like, you were probably going to draw the Edwin one way or the other. The funny
Right,
thing
right,
was,
'cause I
you
had
could have put
Skull.
yourself in a slightly better position if
Right.
you
Oh, yeah,
had
definitely
gotten the Edwin
definitely
off
had
of
six-
Skull, but it's like, it didn't
yeah.
end up mattering.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I really was confused with that concede because I didn't have any. But he knew I had a backstab in deck, and I had Secret Passage, also in deck. So it makes a little bit of sense why you just leave there. But you can
Right.
still play it out because I didn't actually have the backstab in hand, but I had the Secret Passage to fish for it. But then again, they could both be bottom two. So I don't know. It's an interesting concede. I wasn't really expecting it because he had a taunt up.
Yeah.
I
but
think
it was,
I think it was probably just because you were at the very end of your deck. He probably assumed you had something to clear it.
Yeah, when I
given
got
the
that brain
track record.
freeze from that 2-spell cyclone, he messaged me "fuck off." He was not happy about that.
Oh,
Yeah, we were.
well,
exchanging-
it was
we were
very,
exchanging
very
remarks.
like you had to get the removal there, or that was gonna
Right.
snowball really
Right.
big.
I wanted a magic trick first to find either because magic trick obviously gives us the most outs, right? It gives
Yeah,
Ray of
Brain
Frost,
Freeze,
Rain
Frostbolt.
Freeze, Frostbolt, exactly. Yeah, all devolving missiles even. Like I was
Yeah.
looking for those cards, and then when I didn't find them,
Right.
like I gotta go in with Sword Cure, or I really have no chance at this game because Cyclone is my only out, and I needed more spells, and I might as well
Yeah.
just play a 3/2 because I have no spells. So
hey, there
yeah, I
you
went
go.
for that line. It worked out. Gave him a plagiarize. But I high rolled the evocation. So yeah, it was definitely a really close series. A lot of back and forth, for sure.
Hey, it's
Besides
what we
the
love to
100
see.
match where his bottom 10 was both Shard Chatters. I was a little unlucky. He
Yep.
top decked it
that
when it
would be-
mattered, but I mean, he should have top decked it a while ago. So
But in
not-
fairness, if he hadn't drawn the consume magic also so early on, that game could have also gone very differently because then he wouldn't have had the answer for your
right, of course, yeah.
your
I mean, the
Van Cleave.
consume magic was pretty
So,
clutch for him, but yeah. I mean, all in
I'm
all,
not
it
your
was
Van
great.
Cleave, you're questing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was requesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
But yeah,
almost.
congratulations.
Great
Super,
series.
super good job.
Yeah. Any
Giving your
shout
team.
outs you want to give?
Shout out to Cool Kid for also accepting the emote spam. We established that we were going to be have a very casual match. But it wasn't through text. It was just through spamming the fuck out of the emotes.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
That's pretty fair.
Great series. Shout out to HypeHorizen, LiquidOx, the captain. I mean, you guys are crushing it. So, and
Yeah,
then shout out
really.
to JR for being a great captain this season. I'm glad I got to
Thank you.
join DP and do as well as I have been doing. It's been great. Um,
Nice.
yeah, go team. Doctor,
Yeah,
you
this guy's been
Mr.
putting in a
Python,
lot of
let's
effort.
go,
It's really
Mr.
appreciated.
Python, you got the 3-1, boy. I believe in you. Let's go.
He has to get a 3-0 to tie.
He has to get a 3-0 to
Oh.
tie.
He
Yeah,
has to
that's
full
the.
sweep.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say
Sure.
that, man.
It's all good, man. I mean, it's been a slight struggle, but we've been pulling through. So I'm happy.
I mean, we're making them put in all the effort to win, so I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Every match has gone to 5 games, so I can't be too
I don't know
upset
what
about
Lotus
that.
prediction was. I think was it 1-4. I don't remember.
It was 1-4.
I think it was 1-4 with me winning
he was
only?
poking fun at me during the whole thing. I remember.
Yep.
I mean, he's
I did.
he might get a perfect set.
That's my goal.
You were 4-1 HypeHorizen with me winning, right? Or is that Dawn Day? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think
Yeah.
I had you.
No, that
Yeah.
was Lotus. Lotus had you 4-1. I think
Yeah,
Donde
that's what
had
I thought.
him
That's what I
had him 3-2.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, good luck on the perfect prediction. Hopefully it's wrong and Mr. Python can tie it up with the sweep. But
I believe in the man. I believe in
I
him.
mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh
We'll
god,
see.
it's gonna be quite a match one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah, my pleasure. I want to thank Leumer and JR as well for being here and casting with me. And I want to thank Cool Kid for being on stream. Thank you, everyone. If you ever want to be on Schoolstone stream, just DM me. I'm happy to have any THL matches. We're looking for all skill levels. Just come and have fun. We also love wild matches, so just hit me up. That being said, we'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.
See you guys later.
Take care, everybody.